You probably know at this point what sniping is. I will preface by saying real quick what it is not. Sniping is not using mass switches and dragons on a Town Hall 14 and 13 as an 11 or 10 or 12 and hoping you get 2 stars. Don't do that, please, especially during CWL coming this week, because you're going to get in trouble for it. And then twofold sniping is very much just getting percentage and getting the town hall. Those are the two focuses. Now we all pretty much know that at this point. Um, how I personally like to think of sniping is I change my mindset from getting 3 stars to getting 2 stars. Um, so when you want to get 3 stars, naturally you try and do things a little bit differently. But when you're deliberately trying to get just the percentage and the 2 stars, you can definitely cater your attacks a little bit differently. So that's more or less what we're talking about here today. So I've got a few replays. I did not do these. Menace did, but her and I learned together sniping. Gosh, I don't know, like a year and a half ago, and kind of spread it around, if you will, with others. So we kind of have the same mindset as to how to approach this stuff. So naturally, when I see what she's doing, I kind of get the vibe of what she's doing. So I'll kind of talk through them, and then we'll go from there. So, what else? If you have questions, you can either unmute yourself and just ask. That's totally fine with me. Or do we have the training questions section where you can ask a question and then I'll probably pause and just have someone check to see if there's anything and I can address them as well. So, that being said, I'll quickly go through I have a few examples here. So some of them are hitting a Town Hall 13 and some of them are hitting our Town Hall 14. All of these examples show a max Town Hall 11 hitting. So if you have a Town Hall 10, I'll kind of just talk through a little bit what the difference is. And then obviously if you're a Town Hall 12, then you have a more of an advantage, so to speak, since you have potentially higher hero levels, higher troop levels, and higher troop capacity. So you're gonna have an easier time as a Town Hall 12. But what I'm trying to show, or I guess what we are trying to show, is even as a max Town Hall 11, you can 2-star, a max Town Hall 14, which we've got here as well. So it's possible. It's not easy, but it is possible for sure. So so that all being said, I guess I'll probably just get started here. So real quick before we actually start the replay. So typically you have 2 variations of sniping that we advise using. I'll show both of them here. So this one, in this particular case, as you can see from the army composition down below, is a clean charge / clean walk baby dragons strategy. So all the spells are catered to the queen staying alive, so to speak. And I personally feel like this is a better strat to use if you want to improve multiple facets of the game and not just sniping, because you're also learning the queen walk / queen charge strategy. So on this particular attack, again, we've got a pretty, I think, semi-max. I think the heroes are all max. Some of the defenses are a little bit behind, but not a huge deal. Main goal is to, again, go for 2 things, as I mentioned at the very beginning. You want a 50% percentage, so that's what you're shooting for, and you're shooting to get that town hall down with blimp, with sneaky goblins, and some other variations of troops to get it down. Real quick, just as a disclaimer, so potentially with the changes that are coming to the update here tomorrow or Tuesday or whenever it drops, since sneaky goblins are getting a nerf, we might have to figure out a better composition, which we'll obviously address in maybe a future training or what have you, but we'll have to experiment and all that. So this is pre that, but it'll definitely potentially, it might change. We don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. So, so really, with respect to this attack, the way Menace ended up doing it is she first cleared this area over here with just baby drags, maybe a sneaky goblin or two. And then she wanted the queen to actually go into this compartment to take out the eagle and then potentially the heroes too. So that's what she ended up doing, ended up working out for her. So I'll quickly play this a little bit to kind of give you an idea of what we're doing here. So get those buildings out of the way. Found a Tesla there. Gonna keep going here. Queen is gonna go over there. So because I'll pause here, because there's no because the queen goes to the closest building in proximity, she's gonna naturally go up. And we took out that research lab up here so that she doesn't take this out, take the air defense out, and then just keeps going. So invariably now the closest building is going to be the gold mine. So she's going to step into that gap there. Or I'm sorry, the bomb tower, and then she's going to step into the gold mine gap there. So that should be good to go. As we continue to watch here, when you are queen charge, queen walking, ideally you want to get about 25 to 30% of the base with your queen. So at this point, real quick, I'll pause. There's nothing else going on in the attack. We're not doing baby dragons yet. We're not dropping sneaky goblins. We're not using our king, anything like that. The entire focus right now is keeping the queen alive. So we got 2 expos hitting her, a cannon. We're going to have 2 heroes here starting to attack her. So we're going to freeze those. So at this point, your only focus should be watching the queen. You shouldn't be looking at anything else yet. So that's the main objective here. So just going to keep freezing, keep raging. She did go to ability there, but we're getting to that 20, 25, 30% mark shortly. So one thing I will say is ideally, if possible, you don't want to lure the CC because it's just extra stuff that you don't want to deal with. So in this case, she brought a poison just to slow everything down a little bit. So you can definitely do that as well. So we're getting close. I think she's probably going to die here from the Yetis. I think. We'll see. I'm not trying to remember. I watched these beforehand and forgot. So, yep, she does die with the scatter and all that. So at that point, once she dies, then you can start sprinkling baby dragons all around the base and just trying to get that percentage. We're not spamming them. We're not spreading them in a giant line like we do with, say, hybrid or dragons or whatever. We're spreading them out so that they take advantage of their rage ability and taking out those trash buildings. And simultaneously, we're doing some sneaky goblins on the outside pumps to get that quick percentage as well. So, gonna keep going here. Easy peasy. So now we're at 40%. So we got 20% from the queen, another, or 22% with the queen, here another 20 something percent with baby drags. And the king should be responsible for, say, like 5-ish percent here. So we're still going in percentage because we got more baby drags and stuff. So still going strong here. So we got that 50%. So objective 1, done. Don't have to worry about any additional buildings. At this point, your focus should be on the town hall. So first, what we typically advise is putting a few troops down, say a balloon, baby drag, whatever, having some other defenses targeting that. Use the warden ability, and then we should be good to go. So what I personally advise for the CC troops is 7 sneaky goblins, 2 balloons, and 2 minions. I'll kind of explain why in another attack that I was watching, because I think that actually showcases exactly why that's the recommended one. But the main reason is if you use air troops, like a balloon or minion, if there are scatter shots near the town hall, they will target those first. Versus if you have, like, say, a barbarian or an archer or like just a regular goblin in the CC, The scatter shot might lock onto that first, and then naturally with the splash damage, it'll kill all your sneaky goblins, even though they're still invisible. So just trying to, again, guarantee that Town Hall goes down, if you will, with that strategy. So gonna get 1 more % here, and then we should be good to go. So, and we should be good. So we got 57% on a somewhat max 13. And CWL, if you've never done it before or not familiar with what to expect, you're going to be seeing some more rushed, maybe potentially 14s and 13s, depending on your league. So it's not going to be this difficult, but naturally, if you can take down a somewhat max 13 and 14, then you should be okay. But yeah. Any questions on that strategy? Otherwise, I'm going to go to the next one, which is arguably easier, but in my personal opinion, it's not. It's just more spammy. So if that's what you're more comfortable with, then you can do that too. So any questions on that particular one? Going once, going twice. Nada. Okay. So the second strategy that I'll look at here. So I'm going to pause again. So similar concept, except instead of using a queen walk / queen charge strategy, I have no rages, only 1 freeze, I guess.
Oh,
Just,
got it.
Someone asking a question. Maybe they don't have their mic muted. I'll just keep going. So this one, we're not using rages to keep the queen alive or anything like that. We're using lightnings to zap out the air defenses. Lightnings and earthquakes, I should say. And then with this, you want to get as much value as possible with your lightning spells. So typically you can use like the cannons, mortars, archer towers. They're pretty weak. So here we got 3, and then an earthquake that's gone. I think we go to the top left, right there. Yep. And then this one right here. So just with those spells, we have 11% already on the board, which is pretty solid. So at this point, as I mentioned earlier, this is pretty much just spam at this point. So all we're going to do is slowly sprinkle those baby drags all the way around the base and just let them do work. Ideally, you want to, put them in places where you took out those air defenses, because there's not going to be anything targeting them there, unless maybe like an archer tower or something. But as you can see here, we're already at 42%. And again, the goal is 50%, and you should be good to go. So we've got 44 and counting. We still got 5 sneaky goblins, 8 baby dragons. So we're just going. So we'll just keep watching here. Keep watching. Trying to sprinkle them. We're trying to find value where we can. We'll drop that king and queen. So I'm going to speed through this a little bit, just because, again, it's just a function of sprinkling down some troops. Okay, so now we're getting close. No more troops left. We just got the blimp and the warden. So now, naturally, we just need to focus on getting down that town hall. So it is a little bit more centralized, and with respect to the town hall, you can get it down. Obviously, if there's a tornado, it happens. So just gonna try and keep cognizant of that. But in this case, we have a sweeper actually facing, so we want to be careful of that. So my opinion is, before you actually attack, check the sweepers to make sure you know where they're at. In this case, it does disrupt the blimp a little bit, but luckily I think it pans out okay. So you can see the sweeper did get a shot off, but the warden ability lasted long enough to where everything goes down, and we're done. Painless. So this is an easier strategy. I feel like I went through that one a little bit quicker, but it's mainly just spam. So not anything too crazy on that one. You can definitely use one or the other, whatever you're comfortable with. But that's more or less kind of the strategy there. So any questions on that one? Otherwise, we're going to jump to Town Hall 14 sniping, which is definitely more advanced, but it's doable. So you can do it just with enough practice and stuff. So, questions, thoughts, concerns? Going once, twice?
What when sniping with Tealers and a queen walk queen charge,
Mm-hmm.
what do you look for when starting that charge? Or like
Yep,
minimal defenses or
it's a good question. So I'll look at this one, I think right here, real quick to kind of talk through it. Yep. So on queen charges, so especially if you're hitting a 14 or 13, you're going to be facing some pretty heavy hitting defenses. Those heavy hitting defenses are typically scatter shots and the single target infernos, just because they have a lot of HP and they do a pretty good amount of damage. So you're going to have to use rages, freezes, etc., to kind of mitigate that. So the other ones are like if there's multiple expos like we have here on this base, face and on ground, mind you. So they're going to be targeting her or even earlier. Um, those are pretty much the defenses you want to avoid. Um, and yeah, that's a good question. But those are, I think, the main ones: is single target infernos, scatter shots, and also enemy heroes. You can get through them again, but you just have to be extra cautious. It's not to say you cannot do it because it's impossible, but when you are going up against them, just be extra careful. Have a freeze at the ready, have a rage at the ready, and don't panic. You know, like even if she does die early, you can still get away with, getting that percentage and being done. So good question there. Okay, so on this one, pretty nasty base. The town hall is centralized. So Um, so you could naturally try and take through all this stuff up here with the queen walk, but personally, I guess from my own experience, I like actually just using sneaky goblins to take out these extra pumps out here and then just being done with it. And then queen charging kind of, we'll call it the trash buildings, say like the barracks and, the archer towers and cannons. They have their defenses that hit hard, but they have lower hit points, so you can get away with kind of tackling those. So I think in this case, Menace ended up going through the top here and then kind of wrapping around. And then use the baby drags and sneaky goblins on the outside here to get that percentage. And then we'll talk about um, with the blimp specifically what to look out for on this one because there is a sweeper, there is a scatter in the vicinity, so two things to be aware of. And on this one, you'll kind of see why the two loons and the two minions in the CC help, because the scatter shot does target those first, and then keeps your sneaky goblins alive. So on this one, I'm gonna funnel quickly with two baby drags, just get rid of these buildings on the edges so that queen goes through this wall gap. She does have some cocoa loons, the 5 or 5, 6 cocoa loons, so she's gonna slowly sprinkle those around to see if we can find those seeking air mines, the black bombs. Um, so she'll kind of occasionally sprinkle those through. So this point, again, we're not doing anything in the attack on the outside. We're just focusing on the queen, keeping her raged, keeping her healthy, keeping her good to go. There's another Coco Loon there. So now you got two pretty heavy hitting defenses hitting her. Now you got a Tesla that popped up. Now you got two Expos hitting her. So this is where I was talking about you gotta be ready. So there goes a freeze. There goes another rage. There goes another freeze. So she's still alive, but just gotta be ready. So now she's getting back up to full health since she's only got one thing hitting her. Another rage. Just watching her at this point. So now we're at that 20% mark for her. So we got sneaky goblins starting to come in. Got baby dragons on the side there. So she did end up going through that wall gap, which is nice. Go to ability here, get a few more buildings here. So with her, she's going to get probably around 30%-ish, I would say. And then around that time, should be good to go. So now you can see we're starting the baby drags on the outside here, sprinkling them on the side. Get that king on the other side there, and then potentially some sneaky goblins. One thing that I will say as a pro tip is when your queen does die, if you put your king in close enough vicinity, heal healers will automatically go to him. So he'll be able to get some additional value there. Now, I mean, granted they are dying, but you know, if you do it quick, if you do it fast enough, then he'll stay alive a little bit longer. So at this point we're at 45%. Got 4 sneaky goblins, 3 baby dragons, 50%. So we're done. So at this point, I mean, we can get some extra value, but that's not the priority. The priority at this point is the town hall. So let's see here. Yep. So there goes the 4 troops. So the eagle artillery is going to target them and not the blimp. If the eagle artillery targets the blimp, by the time it gets to the town hall and drops down, the eagle artillery shells are going to hit the troops that are coming out of it, and then they're all going to die. So obviously we don't want that as well. So gonna keep going. More than ability. So here's where we gotta be quick. Gotta freeze on the sweeper so that it doesn't disrupt anything. She does have an earthquake there just to damage the town hall a little bit, which is nice. So I'll kind of go slowly here a little bit. So here goes the blimp. It's hard to see, but so there's the balloons there that are coming out. Scatter shots are targeting them and not the sneaky goblins, and then that town hall goes down. So they stay invisible long enough to where it shouldn't be a problem. So that's always helpful for sure. One other thing I will mention on this base real quick before I go to the next one. I'll go back to this real quick. If we decided to blimp first, we definitely, I mean, I don't want to say we could have. You could do anything, but if you blimped first and just got that first star, if you will, you're gonna risk things like skeleton traps, and then we saw it was a super minion CC. So you're gonna risk having skeleton traps chasing you. You're gonna risk having super minions coming out and chasing your troops the entire raid. So leave the town hall until the end. I know it's a little bit more risky. I mean, actually, no. I think it's less risky that way if I think about it, because if you take the town hall down first, depending on what traps or if the CC is close enough to it, you're going to trigger all those troops, and you want to have as less of a pain. You want to have less time, or I guess, how do I want to say this? You want to have less of an excruciating attack as possible, if that makes sense. You don't want to make it difficult for yourself if you don't want to. So it's possible. So that was a max town hall 12 hitting a max 14. So we'll go through another strategy here. Different base, obviously. So on this one, now you can see we're increasing our sneaky goblin count a little bit. You don't have to use that many, but from my own experience, I really like if there's like a clump of collectors over here and just putting 5 or 6 sneaky goblins and taking them out pretty quickly. If you put baby drags and say if there was a Tesla farm over here, they wouldn't get the value that you want. So having those sneaky goblins be invisible and just quickly taking out those pumps and stuff is definitely helpful. So I think that's why we brought 20 in this case. So in this particular example, so as we mentioned earlier, I want to avoid single target infernos. So I don't want to take this dead on here. I want to avoid triggering the CC, so I don't want to queen charge anywhere around this vicinity. So naturally, I'm trying to go up around here. So with that said, so I this one was a pretty, I don't want to say easy base, but it was an okay base to actually funnel since the walls are open. So we're going to drop a few sneaky gobs here, a baby drag here, and then have the queen kind of charge this compartment over here. Again, you got to be quick. You got a scatter shot, you got an RC, you got an expo, you got a few things kind of in your way, but you can make it happen. And then you can use your king, take out these buildings here on the side, have him get into this compartment, baby drags up here, take out this stuff up here, and then up here in the quadrant, you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8% just by doing some sneaky gobs, which is definitely helpful. So start the attack here. So there's a sneaky gob up there, baby drag. And now queen, naturally, with her ability to go to the closest building, she's going to go around and kind of get the stuff up here. So just going to keep watching her. We're not doing anything else. And I would avoid doing sneaky goblins as well until you start the baby dragons, because you want to delay the eagle artillery being awake as early as possible, as late as possible. So the more troops you drop, the earlier it's going to wake up. So if you're just focusing with queen and spells, you know, that means you're doing less. You're dropping less troops and spells for the eagle to wake up, which is obviously good because that's one defense that you don't have to worry about hitting you constantly. So just gonna keep going here. Just gonna keep watching her, not doing anything else. Doing all right so far. Keep going. Nothing too crazy yet, but when that RC starts coming up here, we're going to start getting some damage here, so be ready with those freezes. There's a giant bomb, took out quite a bit of health. There's another freeze on that multi, and then we're going to have another freeze, I think, here on the RC because of how much damage she does. Yep. So at this point, queen is getting 16%-ish. I think she gets like 20 before she ends up beating on a wall there. Yep. So here's that somewhat pro tip that I mentioned earlier. So king is already down. He's going to start hitting some of those defense buildings on the side. And then queen's dead. Healers are going to switch over to him. And then when the eagle wakes up, that's when you want to drop everything. All the baby drags, all the sneaky goblins here that are going to start coming out. Just going to keep going. There they go. Just going to keep watching. So slowly kind of put everything down. We're at 45%, so we need a couple more buildings. There's a storage there. There's a storage here that you can take out. Got to get a cannon down here potentially. No, that air defense is going to take it out. You got some storages up here that you can take out with your sneaky gob. So we're going to get the percentage. So that's step 1 is done. 50%. So good to go. Drop that loon. Eagle is targeting that. And now we can let go of everything else. Boom. And there you go. It's just about, I guess, you're switching your mindset a little bit from trying to get 3 stars to deliberately getting 2 stars. If you change your mindset to do that, then you should be okay to make this work. So I'll go through this last one, but first, any questions real quick, comments? Nada? Okay. So again, same strategy as the other one. Lots of trash buildings on the outside, so that's what you want to see. I will fully admit when I first started sniping, what I used to do is I would actually go to the base and physically count the buildings on the outside of the walls so that you know what buildings you wanted to clear out. So you can kind of figure out like, okay, I need 3 baby drags here and 2 sneaky goblins here. I'll be able to get X% and what have you. Um, so you can definitely do that if you want to. I mean, you certainly don't have to, but if you're not, if you feel like that's going to be helpful for you to make sure you get the percentage, then that's good because you're getting the percentage you need, and then you should be good to go. So I don't I don't exactly remember how she hit this base, but we'll find out together here. So let's see here. Okay, we're gonna baby drag here. I feel like Queen's gonna go over here then. Yep. So she's gonna go down here, clear out some of this area. And I have a feeling since she funneled or she cleared out this little building right here, I have a feeling she wants her to go in this compartment here. So it's gonna be risky, but obviously we know that she gets the 2 stars, so it obviously works out for her. So okay, yep, taking a lot of damage here, so we're gonna freeze. She did go to ability, but again, no reason to panic. She's okay. Just keep going. So we're gonna freeze the scatter and the expo. Yep, going inside. Another freeze. Okay, poison on the skeletons. That's pretty smart. So we got a lot of damage on her right now, but she's still chugging strong. Got that king already working up top. Okay, yeah. So got sneaky goblins around on those buildings. Probably baby drags are going to start coming in here shortly as well. There's a couple of them there. Queen is still alive. I didn't even realize that until now. That's pretty good. Oh, now she died. I jinxed her. Okay, so we're at that. We're close. Close. 48. Got a few more sneaky goblins. We're at 49. So we're running low. We're running low. So sneaky gobs. Luckily, the town hall is a percentage, obviously. So if she doesn't get the storage, which she doesn't, then if she gets the town hall down, then she gets the 50% percentage, and she gets the 2-star. The 2-star because the town hall got down. So, oh, that was actually good. So we had 4 loons, and she dropped one of them all the way up here so that the CC troops that came out go target that one so that you have, an easier time, if you will, for the blimp. So I don't know if she's going to do another one. And I imagine up here now. Okay, there we go. Boom. Earthquake. And yep, there you go. Got them. So that's the key. Real quick before we get to questions and stuff. I didn't show this base just because it's I didn't feel like we needed to on a Town Hall 13, but I remember looking at this one and forgot this is something that I think would be important to know. So I'm going to skip just to the very end, and then we'll see why here shortly, because I think it's definitely helpful to be aware of. So on this base, we do get a little bit close on percentage. Even after we expend all of our troops and baby drags and stuff. Um, so I'll keep going a little bit. Keep going, keep going. All right, we'll keep watching here. I know I'm focusing here, but I just remember this because I thought it was pretty helpful to see. So At this point, we run out of all of our heroes. No more baby drags, so we're short on percentage. So you could panic, but something to remember is with a blimp, when it goes down, it's gonna. I don't think it completely destroys like buildings, some buildings, but for like say Teslas or Archer Towers or like builder huts, if there's anything like right next to the town hall, naturally it's going to destroy those as well. So with the blimp hitting, with the blimp going straight how she did it, it was going to take down 2 additional Teslas, and boom. So now she has the percent before the town hall even goes down, and then the town hall's going to go down as well. So something to be aware of with enough practice, I think. But I think that was definitely smart play. So just be aware of that too. That if you do run into like a Tesla farm right around the town hall, it's just extra percentage points for you. So that's pretty cool. Those are all the replays that I've got. Any questions, concerns, thoughts? Do you guys want to try anything or yeah, what's up?
What would you do if your blimp gets stuck in a tornado trap?
Pray. No, I'm just kidding. It depends. So like so I purposely, you'll probably, if you notice from all of these replays, what I personally and Menace personally likes to do, I'm not going to use this replay actually. You'll probably notice in the very end, we always left some sort of spell, whether it's a rage or a freeze or something. And even if we didn't need it, so I'll preface by saying this first. So to take down a town hall, you just need 7 sneaky goblins, 2 balloons, and 2 minions, and it'll go down with or without a spell. You don't necessarily need the spell, but sometimes it's helpful to have a rage or a freeze just for those instances. So the first step that I would do first is obviously with respect to the warden ability, make sure you do it at the very last second possible, even if it's a short trek like this. So even with the town hall on the very edge here, always delay the warden ability as late as you possibly can. So fast forward just to that point here. Just because if there is that tornado, it's still going to be, the blimp is still going to be covered by the tornado, but we wanted to obviously not die prematurely or what have you. So I think we're getting close here. Okay, there we go. So it should be here. Yep. So you'll notice here, even when the town hall is as close as it is, we delayed the warden ability. We didn't do it early, and we did that rage just in case. So it's more of a cover your butt kind of thing, but there are chances where if you do get caught in the tread tornado, I would say personally you can do it. In terms of you can still make the attack work if it does get stuck in the tornado. From my own experience, the biggest threat is a single target inferno targeting your blimp. So I know that sounds kind of weird, but if you have a single target inferno hitting your blimp during the warden ability and it's starting to cook up, if you will, if you freeze the inferno, the blimp is not going to die once the warden ability wears off, because it might die prematurely and your troops are still going to be stuck in the tornado. So that's kind of the biggest threat. You can definitely counter it. It's difficult, but there are the unfortunate rare circumstances where you have, say, like those bases where the town hall is in the very middle of the base and that town hall is surrounded by walls, kind of like actually not kind of like my base right here. So literally the only way the town hall goes down is if the blimp lands in that compartment. Otherwise, you're kind of, as I said earlier, you're kind of praying that it works out for you. So I've seen people do jump spells as well, which I find very interesting. You can do that. So it's more of a backup plan of, oh, if the blimp is short, I can use a jump spell in this compartment and then have them go to the town hall. You could do that. I've only seen it a handful of times, but yeah, I know that was a long answer, but it's possible. It's more circumstantial in terms of where the town hall is and what the situation is and what's surrounding it, if that makes sense. So, but that was a good question because it does. I mean, I've been sniping for a long time now, and I still, have the occasional CWL where I 1-star once just because of a stupid tornado trap. So, um, let's just thank Supercell that there's only one tornado trap and not multiple of them. So, any other questions, thoughts, concerns? Is there anything in the training questions channel by chance?
No.
Okay.
I have a quick question.
Yeah, what's up?
Does the blimp always land on the town hall so that it doesn't grab giant bombs? Or do giant bombs still sometimes mess with the sneaky gobs?
The giant bombs can mess with them, but I feel like in my experience of doing it, I never. I mean, you can kind of see from all those replays. So, even with the, if I have to check actually, I don't know. Does the giant bomb trigger if the goblin's still invisible or no? Does anyone know the answer to that question?
Yeah, it
Oh,
does,
no.
but by the time they all get out, the giant bomb will have exploded anyway. So
Okay.
it might affect a couple of them, but it's not going to affect all of them.
Okay.
That's another
And-
reason to put barbs in the blimp, is because the barbs will trigger the giant bomb before the sneakies come out.
Yep. And that's the other thing too, is like there's definitely different ways of doing, the army comps and stuff, but it's always, like I said, it's always helpful to have any sort of spell, whether it's a rage or a freeze, just in those instances, if you will, so that you can either rage the town hall or B, freeze it, just to kind of guarantee that it goes down, if you will. So totally up to you in terms of what you're comfortable with. There is no perfect science to it, but personally, that's what I use. But I've seen people do like 10 sneaky gobs and 2 loons as an example. If you're at town hall 12, just don't do something like, or actually you've probably seen like maybe pro players. I don't know if you watch those videos, but they do like, I think 9 regular goblins because they come out first because they have a lower housing space, and then they do 9 sneaky goblins, so they actually have 18 goblins total mixed between super and regular. And then all the regular sneaky goblins trigger all those traps, and then by the time they're dead, then the sneaky goblins have um, have enough leeway to take everything out. But that's obviously in Town Hall 13 and 14 land, and if you're a Town Hall 13 and 14 sniping, we're gonna have issues. So. Any other questions, thoughts, concerns? If it is not, oh, what was that? Sorry.
Town Hall 14 builder huts. How do you tackle them?
How do you attack them? I mean, I feel like you can definitely just either do a queen charge or do a baby dragon on it. I'd have to check. I don't typically I guess I don't typically go for them, to be honest, but I'm trying to see if maybe there's a replay in these that that we are targeting some of them. But
I think so. Manus attacked one of the town hall. She used the quake on the builder hut, so they start repairing themselves instead of the town hall. I think that's worth a mention.
oh yeah, yep, yeah. And I think the quake also it does damage to the town hall as well. Just obviously it does a decent amount of damage too. So that's that's also a pretty good observation there. So you're damaging multiple stuff in the vicinity, which is definitely helpful. But yeah, you could if you did quake the builder hut, then yeah, it would probably repair itself first over to everything else versus the town hall itself. So that is good. That is a good observation there as well. So. Any questions, thoughts, concerns, whether related to this or anything else? Going once, going twice. Sold. Okay. So just I guess, so appreciate everyone coming out. This will be posted on YouTube as per normal. Credit goes to credit due. Menace did all these attacks, so I just did the commentary. CWL is coming this week, so if you have not sniped before, start doing some practice. You're always welcome to ask the Town Hall 13s and 14s in the clan, or you can go to Takeover Legends or any clan really, and just ask for FCs, and someone will be happy to do it for you and post some challenges. But don't be that person in CWL that uses mass switches on Town Hall 14 or mass drags, and hope for the best, because we have strategies, resources to guarantee that you can make it work and have a somewhat successful CWL. So take advantage of it, ask for help from your clanmates, and just have fun and get better, get practicing. So, all right. Well,
Thanks, KW.
appreciate everyone's time. And if you've got questions, let me, Menace, actually anyone really know, and we can definitely help with that. So